So you remember we were talking about our walls being somewhat generic, okay? Yes, they are very generic. Let's say we wanted to put a material out there. Now we know Revit comes with some pre-made walls, right? If we go to the architecture tab and go to wall architectural, notice there are several pre-made walls we can use. One of them is called a stacked wall. Now this stacked wall that I'm going to draw in my model so you can see, right, in my 3D view, is a wall that has a concrete masonry unit portion at the bottom and a brick portion above. Now, this wall is way too big for our building. We don't need this. We just want something simple, something like perhaps a brick wall at the bottom and maybe at the top some siding, which you see in a lot of houses. They have a brick ledge at the bottom. So how can we make our own stacked wall? Well, what I want to show you first and foremost, I'm going to go back, click on this wall, and if you know, we have the edit type feature. Now in the edit type feature of a wall, notice what we have here. We have two levels to this wall. It's a combination of a CMU on metal stud and a brick on metal stud, but notice I can change those. How would I go about making my own stacked wall? Well, first, to make our own stacked wall, we have to take perhaps a generic wall and edit them to what we want them to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply come here and I'm going to click on this wall, right? And when I click on that wall, I can edit type. And right away, first I'm going to click on this preview, and then I'm going to say duplicate, and this is going to be brick bottom. That's what I'm going to call that, okay? When I do that, I'm going to simply come in here and edit the structure of this, and I'm going to say that one, I only want the thickness of part of the wall to be 4, and then I'm going to insert another structural portion of the wall, change that value to 4. Then with materials, I'm going to change one portion of this wall, the inside portion of the wall, okay? I'm going to simply allow that to be a wood stud wall as soon as it allows me to. There we go. I'm okay. I'm just going to type in softwood lumber. That's what's going to be my interior. I'm not going to put all the layers of gypsum and everything on there right now. Then my exterior portion of this wall, just for right now, is just going to be brick. So, sorry, it's running a little slow. There we go. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say, I'm going to make this common brick. Or if I just type in BR, it should take me up to that. There we go. So common. I'm going to say OK. So that's the inner and outer part of this wall. So I'm going to hit OK, right? And if I hit OK, and on my keyboard, if I swing around here, you see I don't see anything. I'm seeing the inside of my wall. That's part of the problem, right? So if I go to level 1, what would I need to do to this? I can flip that, and now when I go back to my 3D view, what do I see? I see my brick. That's the first portion of what I need to do, okay? The second portion, what I need to do is create the top part of what my wall is going to be. So now I'm just going to come over here to one of my other walls, and I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to say, with this wall, which is going all the way through, we're going to fix that momentarily in one of our next lessons. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to say, edit type again, and I'm going to edit the structure of this wall. And this time, I'm going to change, first of all, I'm going to say duplicate, and I'm going to say VIN, vinyl siding, right? And I'm going to make the vinyl siding portion of my wall, when I go into the structure, 6 inches, right? And I'm going to go to the category, or actually I'm going to make it 3 inches to start with, right? Or actually the vinyl siding portion, I'm just going to do 1 inch. Insert another portion of my wall, click on this one. Well, actually I'm going to leave that there because I'm going to put in this value here as 5, okay? This is just simply going to be softwood, right? The softwood lumber. The second one, I'm looking for something vinyl siding, right? I don't see any vinyl siding. I'm going to pause the video for a minute because I want you to see something. Okay, so we discovered that we're going to have to make our own, right? And that's not a bad thing. So in this instance, to make our own, we're going to click here and we see something called vinyl composition tile. That's not going to work for us. However, if we right click and we say duplicate and we just come over here and type in vinyl siding, now what we can do is we can go into this surface pattern and we can pick these 6-inch parallel lines. You see that? We can change the shading if we want. For this lesson, we don't need to worry about that. But one of the things that we'll probably not talk about Wednesday is the image that we're going to want to use here for rendering purposes. That's not going to work for us. I would have to try to find another image, and I'm going to provide you with an image to do that, but we're not going to do that today, okay? We're just building our stacked wall right now. So if we go back to our graphics in a shaded view, this is what we're going to see, and that's okay. I'm going to hit apply and OK and OK once again. All right. And now there's my vinyl siding. Now in order to create my stacked wall, I have to start with a stacked wall, right? So what I'm going to do is go back to where I was and I'm going to draw that stacked wall. And I can do that in this view. It's not going to hurt anything, right? I'm going to click on this wall and I'm going to go to edit type and I'm going to go to duplicate and I'm going to say brick with vinyl siding. That's going to be the name of it. When I go to edit this wall now, notice that I have a layer that is variable and a layer that is set in height. This layer that is set is where I'm going to want to put my brick. So in order to do that, and I'm going to change this to what? I'm going to change this to the one I created, brick bottom. And then I'm going to change the variable part to what? Vinyl siding. And I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to hit OK again. Now that's the wall I want. And I have a stacked wall now. Now what I can do is hover over this wall, tab. Whoops, I don't want to do that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my level 1. And then in this view, I'm going to hover and hit tab and click. And then I'm going to say, let's make this brick with vinyl siding stacked wall. Okay. Now, if I go back to my 3D view, I've got brick with vinyl siding, but I've got another problem. Only one of my walls is on the correct side, right? So what do I have to do? I have to go back to level 1, and I have to click this one and turn it just so the right wall faces outward like I want. And these are all good little things for you to see, people. Okay, so now there's my stacked wall. You also noticed it deleted my door. Why did it delete my door? Well, if I go back to my level 1 floor plan and I want to put a door back in, now when I go to put this back in, it's going to cooperate with me and let me put my door back. All right. When you change walls on the fly, it will sometimes delete your elements that cross that stack wall, unfortunately, and you have to put them back in. Okay. All right, so hopefully you understand a little bit how to now create walls that have different materials. And although we're not going to do it today, well, we may get to part of it today. If we go into that wall and we zoom into this section view, right, and we go to edit this, we're able in some instances to change or modify the base or the top of our wall. Now, we're not going to get into that right now, I don't think. We may. However, I just want you to get used to creating the stacked wall first and foremost. But notice what I have here. Notice that part of my wall, that variable portion of my wall. Notice how if I want to change that height, I can't click on it and change it The only one I can adjust is this one down here because that's the bottom. So if I wanted to change that to 4 feet, I could change that to 4 feet, right? Hit OK. Now that wall goes up a little more. The brick goes up another foot. And you can adjust that. That's the variable portion of it, okay? I'm going to go ahead and let you all try this.